invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look.
We made it for the trailer, Ride of Nine, man. So this is basically like Pantheon, but for dungeons. Brother, I'm so fried. I'm so pissed. I thought this was starting at 1. We missed so much. Hold on. It's not even showing anything.
All right, so that's Ride of the Nine, which is our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And
Didn't
so
even have the
what's really
trailer
fun
up.
about
Man,
these
I
dungeons,
am
these
pissed.
dungeons are both for veteran
I am so
dungeon
pissed.
crawlers, hardcore raiders. People have been in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Ride of the Nine was that we are changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're going to be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rights of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty cool.
She going back into her
why
guardian
she
form?
quits,
What?
At the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we're
Orin?
talking a bunch about
Okay.
how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think
I wonder
it's
what
time
Drifter's
to
gonna
talk
think about
how
this.
the core hobby of Destiny is changing.
We're gonna have a little
It's
love
very
triangle
different
going on.
Week over week experience. And we've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who has gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going?
Once again, I am so sorry for the sloppiness of this stream. I thought this was starting at 1, man.
Very good.
Ugh, the damn time change shift between 1 p.m. stuff to 12 p.m. stuff, it always gets me. It gets me every year at some point.
Core game or the core hobby.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna watch the other stuff from the beginning, but we're just gonna roll with it for right now.
And in particular, like Robbie was saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those like not only stood up but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what like the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes.
Ah,
Let me start with
juicy.
the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have like awesome chases that you're excited about. You have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain. It looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is like it doesn't feel as streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. We want to be player driven. We want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future? That's where all of the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and this is like that. We're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Yeah. I mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director. It's going to say Open Portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to like get you to the fun as fast as possible and as few clicks as we can. Like we even have Edge of Fate there in the corner so that it's like right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map.
Sharpshooter event?
And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual.
So this is just new
putting
UI.
into these ops categories. So the idea
Destination
is that we're having these different
Kepler.
ops for different moods.
So we have a new
We have
destination
solo
coming.
ops, or have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have
Solo ops is
still
nice.
super important for the game.
Something that actually recognizes the
Can you tell us a
solo
little bit
player.
About what solo ops
Oh yeah, yeah.
entails?
So solo.
Oh,
ops,
there we go.
solo
Let's
ops
talk
is
about it.
exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players, and the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in
Me.
there and play
Me.
10 to
You're
15
talking about me.
minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and
Solo
chapter
ops.
forward and feel like, yeah, no, I played some Destiny. That was great. And even if you don't feel like playing with other people, that's fine because we have an activity type that is designed for one player.
Excellent. So, I mean, to that same end, what are some other ways
Which
that we can
regular
play,
fire
have
team
fun,
stuff
and
isn't
do
that bad,
well?
but
Yeah. So Robbie
once
has
again,
this
something
great
that
offer.
encourages the solo
Some
player
of
to
the
keep
North
playing.
Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the portal early on was like, where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately, it's play your way. It's giving players more agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find.
So all the
really
pinnacle
easy to
stuff
jump
is
in.
just
Anything
right
you
there.
play inside of that
Okay.
category.
I
is
get
gonna-
it.
Any of those categories is going to help you make progress. And so
So they
if
have
you
the
want Destiny to be
solo
welcoming
ops
not only to
for
new
the
players,
pinnacle
but also
grind, which
old
is
players
really
who are
great.
going back to the game
Oh,
to
look at
join
that
us with
armor.
The Edge of Fate. And we also want this to be like a new even playing field for everyone. And so as part of this is a commitment from us as part of the
It's a little
core hobby
funky.
and
A
all
little
the
funky.
seasonal content we're building.
Don't know how I
that
feel
we're gonna
about
be
that cloak.
Continually investing in this, right? We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form. in a lot of ways,
You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this
Ugh.
means like if you want to be sweaty, Andy.
Yeah.
Which like I know
So
you've
just
done too, you're
straight
that way.
pinnacle
You're gonna
stuff
play
from
with y'all, like, you're
Crucible.
gonna put those pants
That's
on.
beautiful.
You're going to be able
That's
to play
beautiful.
the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest.
I wish I
tier
still
loot
played
that's
Crucible,
also
but
available in the game.
that would have been nice whenever I was playing it.
Because
Because I always hated jumping into strikes. I always hated jumping into raids and having to do all that just to finish out my power climb. That's why I haven't finished out my power climb in like, what, 4 seasons now?
A long time to get up to power. Now through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time.
And they're good to go.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
obviously how I primarily played D1.
How it needs to be.
So it sounds like the core, obviously, of what you guys are talking about.
For the people that just want to straight up play PvP.
What if I really want to challenge myself, push myself?
Oh yeah,
a little bit more?
that's important to us.
Yeah, yeah. So
Depth is
Yeah.
important to us.
Well, death, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's true.
creation from it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player agency, player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton.
Remember they
of
talked about this a
modifiers.
little
We have
bit?
15
Yeah.
modifiers along with
So
all
we
the
have
bonus
modifiers.
that we've
Kind of like when we used to do the
And we have
scorecards
this big curated
for
web
Nightfalls.
of options for you to experience any of the PvE content in the curator. And so, like, we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you like get advantages in your activities and for your
Bonus
build.
focus
We have
for a
challenges
cloak.
and trade-offs.
Ooh.
The fun part is you're going to.
I'm sure it'll
get
be
these
for, like, weapons or
combinations
something,
that
I
are
hope.
Available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play and be pretty interesting. And sometimes the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want,
so you
can
can just
now
swing.
Spider-Man around It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities,
or you just don't feel like
doing it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and Fireteam Ops.
Oh,
and we have Fireteam Finder. And so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right,
But
yes.
otherwise,
but in the
aside
Fireteams
from
or
that
Pinnacle Ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people. Oh, actually, a really fun part is you can play a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now,
true, yeah,
which is really fun. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about like all the
You can do a whole
different
strike by
booths and
yourself,
combinations
not
that
having
you
to
did at one
worry
point,
about
around 50 or something.
Anybody joining in with you? That's pretty
Those
cool,
are
I guess.
50 new ones.
If you like to
So
do
it's
strikes.
you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity, but if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world, like
Nope.
you can
Esoteric
customize and do
mentioned.
Just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how deep you
I know he's probably geeking.
yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal.
rewards, huh?
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mentioned it. Yeah, we've got
Give me
base,
the
we've
loot.
got modifiers.
Let's
but,
talk about some
let's
loot.
talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot, and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases,
Why should we
mountains,
care?
builds,
That
gear's
part.
at the center of all of that, and we actually have two giant gear changes. I'm gonna like put in two little buckets for us to talk about.
Yep.
The first one is Armor 3.0, and the next one is
So armor should mean something.
And so like talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep
It's
around
huge.
the system. It's
yeah,
enormous.
It's a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats on armor. Where they can now like exceed 100,
Go beyond 100.
go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
Yep.
We're going to every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have
Good they
fully
do a
merchant
4-piece so that way you can still wear an exotic. That's
And
nice.
It's going to essentially like. There's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Fair. Well, something that we can't
Even
talk
the
about
just the
too, we
2-piece
mentioned
bonuses are pretty nice.
as well.
So you can still get some kind of benefit out of it if
Yeah,
you
so
don't get
gear
like
tiers are
that
very
perfect
exciting.
roll or
So
you're
every
still grinding for a
single
perfect roll.
weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 gear tier 5 piece of legs armor.
This
on
is a
the screen
Destiny
right
3
now.
level change,
And you
I
can
would
see,
say.
like, this is like looks really cool.
It's unfortunate that it's still in Destiny 2 and we're not giving a Destiny 3, but
What's going on with the energy there?
this is going into next year, so
Energy
let's
says 11,
Ah,
and
that's
it's
what
true.
11, yep.
let's
Not
see
a
how
good
this
roll.
carries
We-
us.
energy's going
I don't
to
know
11
if just
for
doing armor
gear
and some new
armor.
loot
So
is
if
going to
you
really
want
change it. I got to really see that first
does, like,
that
give you
first
some
trailer.
options you never had
For
before.
those of us that
You're
was
gonna
late,
have to challenge yourself to get more
got to see that
higher
trailer
tier
again
armor
and see
keep going to
what
get more
exactly
higher
is
tier
happening
armor,
with
get those
Kepler.
other
What are
things.
we
And
about
this
to
is
get
also
into?
not something
Whatever
that's
they
just
reveal.
relegated to armor, right? When it
And
comes
they
to
said
weapons,
something
they're
about
actually
like
giving
dark
every
matter or
feature.
something
What's
like that. I don't know if that's
Chases
power or
You read my mind.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You
and
got fashion, and then you have gunplay,
that's
right?
true. Though we do have fashion for your guns a bit now. Well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier gear of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to show
3 rolls per
icons, it's gonna
column?
show
Good
when
God.
you kill enemies with that.
So this is like
There's
just
unique
basically the new
tool sets for
shinies.
Tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it, but your gameplay will like show that no, yeah, the weapon that is being used is like the highest tier you can get.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler auto rifles, and I cannot put this thing down.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, when we're playing through the Edge of Fate right now, And it's what's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. This is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make immediately?
I like that.
Like, okay, this is
So
probably
far,
better
everything
than
that they've
anything I
done
have,
has
now
been
defending
focusing
over
on
tier 2.
making the game
That's a good
more
example of how much time and effort they
telegraphed
put into
in
these
terms
game
of
systems to
understanding
make
what you're
it more
doing, what you're going for, and what you
Change can
have
be scary. There's a
acquired.
lot of change
And
that's
that's really
come to
important
the
to get
game.
these new
We're
players in
on
because
3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new
old
stuff,
players, veterans like
and
me, that
after
we
10
already
years
know
of
what the
Destiny,
game
you
is.
get
We
a
know
bunch
what
of
it's
stuff
solved.
on
So
top.
where
We're
does
gonna have a
Destiny
bunch of
become
block content. We're gonna
unsolved
have
for me
interviews with
again?
Robbie, with Ben, with Morph,
I've had
across the
a
team
loadout
working on
that's
this, and then we'll also be
been
elevating
pretty much
our
season
creator
proof for
community
like
when they're creating guides, all that
since the
kind of stuff.
beginning
It's
of
taken time,
since
but,
before
ultimately, a big
the
shout out
last
to
expansion
all the
dropped.
folks who have been coming into our studio
So in
and
Lightfall, I had
building out some of
perfected
these
that.
systems so they can be more approachable. And
And
we're
then
looking forward
Prismatic didn't
to
even
all
really
the
change it.
feedback that's gonna
Prismatic
be
just
coming
enhanced
after
it.
launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into
What is
something
going to
new that
make
the
me
community
change
can
off of that
really
loadout that
exciting
does
is.
everything that I
Can't
needed to
stress enough
do
how much, feedback we've
and
gotten from the
has
community
been
summits we've
woven
run
into
last year for the
every
Edge of Fate,
artifact
just people
mod
reaching out to
that
me,
we've
to other
released
stuff.
one way or
Your
another.
feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's incredibly.
But I don't mind all the
powerful
new
process
player
to
stuff
go
coming in.
through
It
to be able to make
may
what
just be
we want.
time. It may just be time for me to step back and let other people come in and join it. You know, and let the player base kind of regrow itself back up. And it's nice for people who haven't played in a while to just understand what's happening.
Ben, you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest TWID.
I'm more predicting we are.
Yeah. So
It's
we'll,
not about try; it's the state of things.
it's going to be a multi-month journey as we head towards launch. So.
Yeah, be a good time.
Yeah.
But we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on
Good question.
improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons
Renegades,
on the core hobby,
Lawless
Destiny, and that
season,
commitment
and
to
Reclamation
continually
season,
updating it. And in
Ash and
addition,
Iron,
we're gonna have
Shadow and
3
Order.
major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate seasonal storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting.
These are those changes that even Joe was talking about way back, how we're going to be changing up the seasonal model, even though it still says season on the screen. But
posting around right now, the size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay. So
Okay,
when you
so
say, like,
both of them are
Into
gonna
the
be,
Light,
like,
for
Into the
folks
Light,
that aren't
but-
out there, like, what for a major update? How big is that? Like, how do you encapsulate
Yeah,
that?
so when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands.
Return to the Plague Lands. Can't wait.
It's gonna
hey, you're going to the Plague Land, Siva?
from where we
Okay,
left off from the Edge of Fate, and with it,
we're going back to Siva.
a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well.
Okay.
And again, this major update and all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice. So even to actually go one quick layer deeper on seasons as well, what are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space with the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. And one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is Tanks versus Briggs, a new PvP.
Right.
It's
The
super
heavy
fun.
metal mode.
I would kind of wish I was playing it right now. Not gonna lie. But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny. If you invest in this event.
Briggs are gonna
It
just
is a free-to-play
wipe
event.
the floor
It's
with
a
the
reward
tanks,
free-to-play.
man.
It is
Because tanks are so janky to
combat
operate.
vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin. And this is a really cool combat.
So I can
ready
finally
vehicle.
shoot
You
with
can
my
summon a Sparrow, you can
my
summon it,
Sparrow.
Use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really
Excellent.
cool,
It's about time.
There's some really cool build crafts.
I don't have to just run them over anymore.
Really cool, I don't want to spoil it right now. Let people discover, but I'm super excited for it.
Combat ready Sparrow. Okay, okay.
Well, I mean, we've been
It
saying,
seems like technology that'd be easy to do because they already had the skimmer.
Splash and
Yeah.
Griffin is splat.
Oh, not skimmer, but the
No quota has met.
We got to get
pikes.
Absolutely, yeah. But right, man, like you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh yeah. So like I just said, there's more events that
Yeah.
we're making. There's one that's going to happen right after the launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week, and it's a 1-week-long event, and you're going to be
Arms
focusing
Week.
on
Oh.
one type in Arms Week. Whenever
Thinking
you
about
pick one.
Arms
And this
Arms
one
Day
is
D1.
a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are there for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right, and
Yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about
Sure.
the rest of you,
Those poor dregs.
right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long-requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range.
Yes!
The shooting
Oh,
range is being added.
thank you.
It is a
Finally!
addition to the game with the launch of Arms
A
Week.
shooting range.
And you can go there and you can
Brother, oh, the testing. All the testing.
build with all sorts of simulations of different kinds of enemies.
No more running into lost sectors. No more just trying to find something to test it on. I can actually figure out what my build is doing and if it's being effective.
Like, see exactly how well
Somebody else can come in and figure that shit out.
at this range or with
Gonna
this
say,
strategy.
who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally gonna know. That
So we have a rally flag. It's
Finally,
it's
brother.
a shooting range. Like you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like, if you wanted to, you could even take in prismatic and. pop
Needed this for
and
so.
figure
It took
that
us
out.
11 years, but we have a shooting
I think
range.
the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's the Titan.
Yeah,
Please
cool.
tell me that they
Yeah,
took
stand on that firing line.
the crafting station and put it in here, because that would be
A lot of
wonderful.
theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
This will be a really good tool. Like as we're adding all of these different systems,
Extremely
like
good
tier-tiering
tool.
and all of that. You can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these different gear bonuses going to affect the gameplay? You can see it in the tower now.
And while we're talking about weapons,
Oh yeah,
got
well
one more thing, right?
Yeah, I know. There's one more thing. I know you're
Yeah.
excited. So there's more
Crafting.
events, of course.
Crafting
there's
is
more events, and the holiday events are
into-
coming up. We're at Solstice.
Okay, no, they're just talking about
Summertime,
events.
right?
It's summertime. Summertime is solstice time in Destiny 2. And Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning, but I'm not going to talk about that right now.
I hope
wanna
so, because
show
I'm
you
tired of
the
Bonfire
new
Bash.
hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go. This is the hollow foil treatment for Solstice.
Ooh, like a beach.
2025. It is.
so
It's
good.
amazing every time I look at it.
Yeah.
It is an ocean,
On a
and
gun.
the line. Yeah.
That's nice.
Put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And any kind of weapon that drops for this event can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what
a
the
tier 1 or tier 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
when you're playing through.
like the tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
Like that's gonna be a chase. Our other events will also have hollow foils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own hollow foil treatment. Like every event, a major event we have, will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
super exciting. No, it's gonna
Hollow
be good.
foils,
I'm gonna
okay.
have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that.
A lot of good
I
rewards.
believe-
I will say that, a lot of good rewards.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk
That's
about
right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
There we go.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But, as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ashen Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge.
She looked a little crazy, and I like that vibe. She
We'll
seems
talk plenty about
very
it later,
artsy-fartsy.
Is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny.
Like, she looks like her thoughts are about to just spill out of her brain, and she's trying very hard to keep them in and keep them in order.
For years to come, it is an essential Fate Saga
I feel it.
story, and it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio and millions of you back at home too. It is a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
Huh? Oh, is this like the Star Wars looking stuff? Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, man. Oh, that's going to get so many people hyped. That's going to get so many people hyped.
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades.
The
which
saber
is coming
reveal
out,
was crazy.
This December, and to
I
really
wish I
drive
liked
it
Star
home
Wars
here,
more.
Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the Destiny team have taken inspiration from other genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the free major update with Ashen Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with.
I hope there's more to it than just some Star Wars feeling stuff, because Star Wars, I'm sorry, whoever doesn't like this opinion, but I am just not the greatest fan of Star Wars.
There's been a lot today.
Yeah, this has been a big show, honestly. No,
Which is ironic, because I was a huge fan of Destiny, or I am a huge fan of Destiny. I guess you can say those are parallel ideas, but
on July 15th. And this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate Saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
July 15th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of information. We already covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you can't just
New raid?
sneak in a raid date.
Raid?
We have a new raid coming.
Yeah, I'm about to say raid?
July 19th. We're going to have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have the rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race. Of course, we invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first title. And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details.
I'm glad they
We're
still
not
have
just
a raid
things
coming
on
this
raid.
next year.
We gotta
I
keep
didn't think that we
yeah,
would get
yeah.
one, to be
Everybody
honest.
mark your calendars.
Yeah. Bungie.net is the place to go ahead and learn more. And again, follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor. So in addition to that, again, as we noted, Ashen Iron, our first free major update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December. And then keep an
I still
eye
haven't even
again on our
finished
social
the last
channels
raid.
to provide all the updates once they're available.
Ironically
but
enough.
as far as today goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New Land Beyond.
Huh.
Exotic Sniper.
Super
Ooh, I can't
excited.
wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've also got a collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here on screen, it will be coming with an awful lot of very cool stuff.
You already know how we finna do it. We finna do that pre-order, and then we're gonna
This is
unpre-order
one
it.
that you can go ahead and
Get those
add
rewards,
as well.
unpre-order it.
That's not all that's in there. Is there, Allison?
We got the writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope. Boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative points.
Should probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
we should go downstairs immediately after.
Really
right after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events.
And Rite of the Nine is today, I believe.
Players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow.
Sammy Cat.
Hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs,
well deserved.
Go ahead and do us a favor. Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Robbie, Allison, Dylan. Of course. There we go. We got Ben. And, of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew that puts all this on. This doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And, of course, to everyone at home, to all of our guardians out there in the community, thank you. It's a tremendous privilege to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on early. And it matters only if you guys show up and join us. So we really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. And otherwise, in the
exciting
meantime,
stuff. Exciting stuff.
Again, take care of yourselves.
I need to see that Edge of Fate trailer. So here's what we're gonna do here. I know we can't go backwards. I know we can't. Why? You already know we got those drops too, but we're gonna go back to YouTube here. We're gonna see Edge of Fate. I wonder if they did like the whole I should be able to go backwards on here. Yep. Okay, cool. 26 minutes. Okay, no. Let's get this a little closer to when it actually starts. All right, guys. Because we were late, we're going to watch this. All right. God bless YouTube. And them having their streams recorded. But you know we had to watch it on Twitch for the drops. All right, here we go.
What follows light and shadow is silence. That silence breaks. I am summoning you as a new age begins. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity. They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten. They forgot we were here long before the Traveler.
Whoa.
They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them. I'm sure you will. But not through me.
Oh.
Through someone else.
Oh, that's what she came out. Okay, Orin.
My will is my own.
Hell yeah, sister.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today. So, how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, Assistant Game Director here at Bungie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. It's always a pleasure to
Trying to do if I can see if I can skip a couple of seconds, but
to that end as well, for anyone that doesn't get to hang out as much as we do.
and game directors like Allison and for the game and just
Here.
yeah.
Good opportunity director, the one.
About that team to make. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
No, seriously, thank you. Who is so well. Thank you so much for.
Got to make sure to ask every time.
I appreciate it. You know all the help I'm meeting you for the first.
Would go organizations information.
you know who y'all are.
Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's
Okay,
up
beautiful.
next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga. And so
Multi-year
we wanna tell the story
saga.
of something cool.
I can't give y'all another 10 years, bro.
Bound by it,
I can't play
confided
this game till I'm
because
40.
Before the Traveler ever arrived,
I might play
in
this
our
game till
solar
I'm
system,
40. I don't know.
There was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the 9, aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think it's
Subtle,
How did
I
you
know.
guess?
Yeah.
Lift you up.
We did such a good job with this secret.
We buried that lead, didn't we?
just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the 9?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the 9 are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets.
Connected
plus
to the
sun.
celestial
Sorry,
bodies.
Messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, there you go.
So the 9 are the
But,
planets themselves, or at least they're
the important thing
connected to the
know about them
planets.
Is that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the 9, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them?
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the 9 really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the 9 doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the 9 are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the 9 are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power, or something that the Guardians have gone
So
for
formless
the past
big
years
bad
based
on the
as very
horizon.
embodiment of the darkness itself. What could we talk
You get
about?
tired of this a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
this is something that we
But
think about.
I
a lot
understand there
about,
having to be
'cause
mystery.
Ultimately, the 9 seek to free themselves
Yeah.
at no matter the cost to humanity, and because they're extra dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond, achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the 9 is challenging that. How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the 9 have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are extra-dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality in a very different way and can interact with it in a very different way.
It's like they're a move ahead in chess.
Weird.
What a reference. But you were mentioning, obviously, the Fate Saga is one of the subjects of
I
today.
see you,
How long do you
DMG,
expect the
I
Fate
see
Saga
you.
to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately, we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we think about this is about pouring jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately, because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so the Edge of Fate launches on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegade, which comes this winter. And then later in 2026, we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. A lot of stuff. A lot of exciting.
So they didn't talk about that again.
The Edge of Fate is just the beginning of this long
Shattered
journey.
Cycle and The Alchemist.
This awesome vehicle.
Renegade's dropping this year is actually pretty crazy. Us getting 2 expansions, and it's already May.
The Edge of Fate right here in front of us. You were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you, right?
Oh yeah, we got some clips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should show them.
Here we go.
It's a doozy.
Let's check it out.
The juice.
Observe, connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply,
Who's talking?
return. They just wanted to show us disasters. Observe, connect, conceal. I'm not human anymore.
Who the fuck was that?
Return, conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like. Enough. Terminate your suspicion.
What house is this?
Remove your scornful blindfold.
Were those wolves or were those devils?
Observe.
But they're wearing green. I'm trying to catch a banner somewhere. Sounded a little marathon-y towards the end there.
That gives us an awful lot to go ahead and continue to dive into.
And it sounded like he was being,
here to
like,
help us go ahead and explore a
taking
little bit
his
more of it.
brain was being taken over by
Everyone,
Vex.
Joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you in a past Vidoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today.
Yeah.
So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
The Edge of Fate begins with an invitation, and we are invited along with a very specific group of people to a location, to a moment in time for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific reason and purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold on, hold your horses
You read
1
my mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friend, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Super exciting. This is kind of a, Robbie, we were talking kind of before the show. This is like like a first taste of something new, right?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania inspired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions and the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions
they flying now?
More expansion content.
Good lord. We got flying Vandals.
We're upping the pace of
Corsair
world and story events that really matter to players and are going to be pushing the Fate saga forward. And so
seeing new enemy units in these factions, though, that is refreshing. If we're gonna fight more Fallen, at least make them look new. If we're gonna fight more Vex, make them new. Make them behave differently.
We also have world tiers. And world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the Destiny.
I honestly think that we're pretty good on combatants now that we have the Dread. I'm tired of fighting Dread, boy. Tired of it.
As you play through the mainline story and you play through the
they can use Strand? Hold up.
Unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way.
So this is how we're going to be able to
you can start to
keep the ball rolling, so to speak,
before in the original playthrough,
and not get bored with just going in and doing an activity.
We're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so
this is that go out and choose your own path, like kind of revealing the story as you go kind of thing.
You to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something and you pick it up, and that's going to help you explore the characters in the world of Kepler more and go deeper on that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us
I like that.
Looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years, and some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some radical changes. And so that's what you're seeing here.
What was that? What was the little wisp?
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw. Kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists, like, okay.
Yeah.
But then also there was a Guardian that turned into like a lightning ball.
Yeah. So so there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able
multiple
to
new
abilities.
Make
them navigate and look at the world in different ways.
So they're doing this like how they did
we see it as our
Neptune
premier ability, the crown jewel to release, and that's called Matterspark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matterspark.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will allow you to completely change form. Transforming into a Matterspark lets you squeeze.
Just going Sonic the Hedgehog on them.
Areas, jump over stuff, and it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matterspark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple hill becomes a ramp to get to a new space. A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matterspark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just start racing around the arena, dash over their heads, and flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well we should. It's a good day for us as well. So what are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter
environmental
and
problem solving
Guardian's powers.
Okay.
So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new fallen dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks, and just basically teleport around the world. Another ability
stabilizing
that we have
dark matter.
Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with Strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
Yeah, so what's really important about what Dave was describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about like, hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way, and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions, the free roam, and the quest content, and beyond. But also what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matterspark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them, you're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Cannon, you're just blowing everything up with void explosions and Graviton Lance style, like little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to there's something unlocked with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
So when we're talking about dark matter, matter.
Yes.
We have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter?
Is matter the third subclass?
So,
the third
dark
darkness
matter
subclass?
and darkness are two completely
Eventually?
separate things. They're completely
never mind.
different things. But dark matter does exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of.
Right.
In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us, on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah. Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math.
Bleach and math?
Cannot wait to get that flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with the sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, it's really good.
Bleach and
actually,
math.
So on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure. That was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in
Mm-hmm.
Apollo. Not in Apollo. We're introducing him in The Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything.
Yeah.
And what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is, but I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I did. Someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of time with on this new adventure we're going on.
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
right, Notice me.
Notice me, Lodi.
Yeah, of course.
He
it
will.
writes
He will.
itself, or rather Allison does. So with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in The Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating what's going on. And as it turns out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was
Ikora got her hands on everything.
Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Kind of like the fit that Lodi got on.
Like the way we think about this is about all these characters.
See, I love how they always, with Hunter
there's these puppet masters that
armor, they always got to put the female Hunter model up because all the Hunter armor always looks better on a female model.
So as a Guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide.
If you put it on the dude model, it looks
that's what we think about.
just
For these
dumb.
individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are
Make male hunters fashionable
and
again,
what does that
please.
mean for them, or what does that mean for their future and the future of Soul itself? So
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine because turns out the Nine can do something that the Vex can't.
So this is where we jumped in.
The House of Exile are also here. They've become
Exile. That's who it was. The House of Exile.
And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means
so I wonder how Variks is going to be involved with this.
Have been yanked into Kepler's presence.
Because he was supposed to be the last of his house.
Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Rite of the Nine begins today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer.
And then that was where we came in. Was right when they did. Oh yeah, actually, let's play that because
you were nice enough to bring a trailer along.
I didn't have that pulled up earlier.
Look really
quickly. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
This is so good that they're doing this too. Like, it's finally gonna make this kind of content so much more approachable for people, and easier for Sherpas to come back and help people out through it. I might start doing some Sherpas. And it begins May 6th. I wonder how long it lasts. I wonder if they say it right after this.
That's Rite of the Nine, which is our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people have been in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right?
So I guess it's just a permanent addition.
What was really important for us when we were developing Rite of the Nine was that we are changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're going to be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rites of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula.
All right, yeah. So I guess it sounds like they're going to just do that up until when they release the new expansion. But a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff that we saw. I'm not going to say that I'm super excited for it. It looks cool. It looks great. It looks like a new way to play Destiny and something that would spark a little bit of life back into Destiny, but there's nothing that's like getting me hype yet. And I wonder if that's just because of past, issues with Destiny and the roller coasters that we've rode over the last 10 years. But once again, this is a very great step forward for introducing a new audience, and or at least trying to get people to fall back in love with Destiny. And that is 100% what they need to try to focus on, because they're not going to change the opinions of people that have already been here for 10 years. They need to change the opinions of people that have been watching from the sidelines for the last 10 years, or who have dipped in for maybe like a year or an expansion and dip back out. They need to get their attention back and then let them fall back in love with Destiny. And then that's when all of us veteran players, as we're starting to go in, we're going to be there regardless at some point. That's just how being a veteran Destiny player works. You're going to be there. But we need to be able to feel that the game is alive, that the game is is doing well and that people are invested in it, because when it goes to the point that you're starting to look for teams for raids, looking for teams for match-made activities, you want that community to be there, and you want everybody to have something to talk about, to be buzzed about, to be excited about. So it's going to be a lot of stuff along the way. We have, like they just said, we have a Ride of the Nine that just dropped today, so we may get into a little bit of that. Unfortunately, now's the time that I have to tell you guys that there is not going to be a stream this Friday. I need to head out of town to a graduation for a family member, so we are not going to be having a stream this weekend, which is why I'm glad we had this stream today, even though I was late to it because I suck at doing time conversions between Eastern time and Western time. But we are not going to have a stream this Friday. We are going to have a video dropping this week. At least I'm really trying hard to get a video drop this week. But there's a lot of prep going on in the background for DreamCon as well. So I'm going to keep you guys as up to date as you possibly can. Check my Twitter. My Twitter is the most active place I want to be. I know I say check the Discord too. The Discord is always a great place to be. I will be updating that Discord as time goes on, but right now Twitter is like the main space where you're going to find stuff for me. And as I'm dropping more information, I'll still do community posts on the channel here too, and just let people know what's going on with the channel, what you can expect going forward. But other than that, that's the end of the stream. We got to see some new stuff coming. There's some new stuff to play right now, and we'll just see where Destiny goes from here. I would say that right now I am cautiously optimistic for the future of Destiny, and I think that that is more than fair to say about Destiny in the state that it's in, the state that it has been, and what we know in terms of what's going on with the company itself outside of the game and how things are being structured and what's going on between them and Sony and all this stuff. So we'll see how things go. So I appreciate everybody that came through the stream. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me I'm once again so sorry for everything being so late in this stream kind of being jumbled, but we caught it all, and I will catch you guys hopefully. Oh wow, looking at the calendar while I'm at it, there's not going to be a stream next weekend either. There's not going to be a stream next Friday either. I'm going to be in Disney World with my family, so we will figure something out. I promise you guys we'll figure something out. But I love you guys. Everybody be safe and take care.